have joining us Congress MLA Rizwan Arshad right now on the bulletin. Mr. Arshad, thank you so much for speaking to us at News 9. And you know, since morning we've been discussing this entire matter of hashtag Save Cubbon Park. But help us understand this, sir, that at this given point, even when experts are saying that this very corridor that has been opened up, it just saves a mere 1.5 minute delay for the people, then why open a corridor that is this historic, that is in fact referred to as the lungs of Bengaluru? Why are we risking this? Why can there no alternative corridor be figured out so that, you know, a 1.5 minute delay is looked after for the commuters?
Who are these experts, Shreya, who says that it is just 1.5 minute delay? I don't understand their expertise on that. But having said that, we have to understand one thing, that Cubbon Park has always been historically an open park, where historically traffic has been passing through. Still successively last 15 years, we, mostly when our government was there in the last term, so we decided that we will close this park as far as possible, and we are in 90 days, 92 days in, out of 365 days, we close it completely. Fine. And there is a huge traffic issue in core Bangalore. And traffic police has been, they have been requesting us that we have been unable to manage the traffic if you don't open this on the Saturdays too. So I myself and Mr. Harris, both the legislators who are surrounding Cubbon Park, we have very vehemently opposed that. Then the compromise was reached where 2 Saturdays out of in a month, where we have completely closed that. The other 3 Saturdays are it's closed. These 2 Saturdays, public timing is 5 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Post public timing, post 7 o'clock, we'll open it for 2.5 hours. Only one road which is north to south. No other roads will be open. I don't think so. This should be made into a very big issue because the park remains closed for 92 days out of 365 days. Park remains closed when the public visits it on the Saturdays also. Just 2.5 hours in the evening, that too on a trial period, right? So all the stakeholders were there when we had a meeting. The Chief Secretary herself had chaired it, and the Horticulture Department, Pollution Control Department, Traffic Police, and the stakeholders who regularly visit the park, they all had their opinions, and a compromise was reached that only 2 hours we'll take it as a trial basis. And I don't think so that should be made into a big issue. Let this trial period go on for 2 hours, and traffic will be definitely closed when people are in the park. And that too, we are opening a single road. We are not opening the whole park as it is opened on the regular days. I don't think so there should be an issue on this.
Right, Mr. Arshad, but you know, I'm just speaking about normal human mentality in general, right? You give them a slice of cake, oftentimes we see them asking for more, and till they have consumed the entire cake by themselves, and that unfortunately is a part of human mentality. So today, if we are opening it for alternate Saturdays, what is the guarantee that maybe in the next couple of 5 years or a 10-year term, suppose there is another different regime that comes to power as well, and they cite this example that, see, the previous government had opened it for these many days, so now we're just making things easier for the commuters. It's a requirement. We're opening it for further time.
See, I'll understand. I will help you understand this. As per the estimates, there is 20 minutes traffic delay across the Cubbon Park when the traffic is congested and the vehicles are standstill. That is causing more pollution than if you allow the vehicles to pass on a single road to decongest the whole thing. Right? So we need to take into totality all the things. And we have asked the Pollution Control Department that all the equipments to monitor the pollution levels in the park should be installed within 15 days. right? So that we need to understand what's happening across the park and within the park. Second, the final and permanent solution would be to have a tunnel below the park so that the park is completely closed all 365 days and it becomes a good lung space for us without any interference, right? So the
Has
government,
that been in the talks, a tunnel?
yes, I have definitely proposed that in the meeting with the chief secretary, and I will take it up personally with the chief minister also. The issue here is we need to somehow decongest the traffic across the park, and we need to
Right.
protect this park. This is a jewel for Bangalore city, right? I being the
Absolutely.
local legislator, that's my primary duty also. But having said that, I should also understand what the traffic police is trying to impress upon us. What is the difficulty people are facing when we completely close this park also. So this is just a compromise thing for a trial period, and it should not, if the results are not so good, then we should definitely rethink about it. One, but the permanent solution needs to be evolved where the park can be closed 365 days. That's my opinion, and I will definitely take it up with the government.
Mr. Arshad, previously, and this is a conversation I was even having with my colleagues who are based there in Bengaluru at this given point. Back in 1998, if I'm not wrong, there was a similar campaign against encroachment in Cubbon Park that had been started, Save Cubbon Park. What would you say is being done this differently this time? Because that time the public's request and voice did stand out, and it was stopped. But this time, if you are doing things differently, how are you doing things differently to make sure that people are also, their concerns, the Walkers Association's concern is also looked after?
See, I'll tell you, it's not about the Walkers Association. It cannot be their prestige. It is about the park. And
In
the park
general,
is for
the
the
civilians
city.
out there,
No,
yes.
yeah. The park is for the city. If I have to go, or the government has to go strictly with the traffic police recommendation, they want the park to be open across, except on Sundays. All the days they want it to be open. Okay, so we cannot heed to what they're saying, but also try and come out with a solution where the traffic also is eased and park is remains closed for most of the time, which we have decided it to be closed, right? But this is cannot be a permanent solution. This will be a confrontation between the park and the traffic police department for a long time. So the government needs to think out of the box, come out with a solution where we can protect the park and also ease the people's difficulty in passing through the central business district area which the park is located, right? So that would be a permanent solution which we would like to push and work towards. And right now, Bangalore is being prepared to tunnel itself. I mean, the government is preparing the tunnel program. It will be tendering shortly. So definitely the government should consider tunneling or any other, any other solution. If there is no solution,
Right.
then the tunnel can be a solution. But we need to protect the park, and that is our priority. Nobody should mistake it, and nobody should take it as their prestige and make
Right.
it into a campaign
Right.
to salvage their
Right.
prestige.
We're talking about a historic landmark. Definitely, Mr. Arsha. Thank you so much for speaking to us at News9. And Gautam Shankar as well, my colleague who joined us previously on the broadcast as well. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for speaking to us here on this very story. With that, before we move on from this very story, let me quickly take you through a ground report that's been brought to us by our other colleague, Mohammad Wajiullah, from the very Cubbon Park with regards to all that's happening since morning, ever since this decision has come out to light. Let's take a look.
We are going to do a drive through the Cubbon Park to give a sense to our viewers on what are the things that are going to change with this new rule that the government has done, or an experiment that the government is doing with regards to the vehicular movements within Cubbon Park. So as we move right now from here, and my camera person is showing you the Cubbon Park, this is the entry gate which we are talking this is the Corporation Circle side. From here, if we move inside the Cubbon Park, right in front, the red building that you can see, which my camera person is zooming into, is the Central Library. Now the argument by the government is that in the evenings there is a lot of chock-a-block of vehicle congestion in the surrounding areas of Cubbon Park, and that is why this particular road should be opened on the second Saturdays and on the fourth Saturdays, on 2 Saturdays in a month, just on an experiment basis from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. for 3 hours to see how much does it help in curbing the traffic congestion. While environmentalists and the former commissioner who had shut this place down, Bhaskar Rao, while speaking to us, had also said that it is a baseless experiment or a mindless experiment that has been done by the government.